Stop what you're doing, because what I'm about to tell you sounds like the plot of a political thriller, but it's 100% real. A beauty queen in a crown, a sitting U.S. congressman, and an accusation so explosive it could destroy his career, his reputation, and maybe even his freedom. Lindsey Langston, Miss United States 2024 and Florida GOP power player, has accused her ex-boyfriend, Congressman Cory Mills, of threatening to unleash intimate nude photos and sexually explicit videos of her after their breakup. And that's not all. She says he warned he'd go after any man she dared to date next. Mills isn't just any politician. He's a MAGA Republican who helped pass a federal law against revenge porn earlier this year. Now, the man who voted to criminalize it is being accused of plotting to do it. Let that sink in. There's a police report, a state-level criminal investigation, a restraining order hearing, and a wave of old controversies, from military record questions to eviction notices, rushing back into the headlines. This isn't just scandal, this is political TNT. And tonight, we're cutting the wires to see what blows. Stay with me, because the 5 truths you're about to hear will change how you see this case forever. In 2025, the line between private life and public scandal has never been thinner. Lindsey Langston, crowned Miss United States and a Florida GOP committee woman, began dating Congressman Mills, officially separated but still married, back in November 2021. By 2024, she had moved into his new Smyrna Beach home. The relationship hit turbulence when Langston learned through media coverage that Mills might have been linked to another woman's assault case in Washington, D.C. She confronted him and later found social media evidence tying him to the incident. That discovery prompted her February 2025 breakup. According to Langston, what came next was pure retaliation. Mills allegedly began messaging her from multiple accounts, threatening to release nude photos and sexual videos of the two of them together. She also claims he vowed to intimidate or harm any future partners she might have. Those alleged threats, and the evidence she provided, were enough to catapult a private heartbreak into a headline-making scandal, putting a sitting congressman in the crosshairs of a state criminal probe. On July 14th, Langston filed a formal police report with Columbia County law enforcement. She included screenshots of text messages and Instagram DMs, which she says prove Mills threatened to leak intimate content and target her future romantic partners. The seriousness of those claims prompted authorities to escalate the matter to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE. This move signals the case has shifted from a local police matter to a full state-level criminal investigation. In addition to the police report, Langston pursued a restraining order against Mills. Reports differ on whether a temporary injunction was granted, but the court has scheduled a mid-August hearing, pending confirmation that Mills has been formally served. Meanwhile, Mills has hired high-profile criminal defense attorney Aaron Delgado. Delgado says the messages are taken out of context and insists there's no evidence of a sexual threat, framing the allegations as politically motivated, pointing to the fact that Langston's lawyer, Anthony Sabatini, is Mills' former primary challenger. This legal clash, state investigators versus a sitting congressman's defense team, has set the stage for a potentially explosive courtroom showdown. When you brand yourself as a family values conservative and co-sponsor anti-revenge porn legislation, allegations like these are career crippling. Earlier this year, Mills voted for the Take It Down Act, designed to criminalize the non-consensual sharing of intimate media. Now, he stands accused of threatening exactly that. The optics are brutal. Mills, a combat veteran, touts his Bronze Star as proof of heroism, yet that medal's legitimacy is under review by the House Ethics Committee after multiple witnesses challenged his wartime claims. Add to that a history of unpaid rent on an $85,000-plus penthouse, previous assault allegations, and ethics probes into his campaign finances and federal contract dealings, and you've got a political profile that reads more like a rap sheet. For voters and donors, this is the kind of scandal that sticks. It feeds into narratives of hypocrisy, abuse of power, and moral double standards. Even within his own party, whispers are growing louder. Some Republicans see this as a toxic liability heading into an election cycle. If Mills can't shake these optics, this could be the controversy that defines and possibly ends his congressional career. Social media has lit up like wildfire over this case. Hashtags like non-miss-USVs, Mills, and revenge porn politics are trending, with netizens split between outrage and skepticism. Critics on X are saying, another family values politician exposed, literally. Supporters counter, this is a political hit job, show us real proof. Memes are circulating showing Mills' face on tabloid covers with captions like, from Congress to courtroom. High-profile voices have chimed in too. Langston's lawyer, Anthony Sabatini, has called the alleged threats sexual extortion in the extreme and argued that if Mills weren't in Congress, he'd already be in jail. Party leaders in Washington have mostly stayed quiet, but behind closed doors, insiders say there's nervous chatter about how long Mills can weather the storm. Media outlets from The Washington Post to People magazine are covering every twist, ensuring this case remains in the national conversation. The combination of a beauty queen, a congressman, revenge porn allegations, and a heated political backdrop makes it a headline magnet. Public opinion is split, but the volume of attention alone is enough to keep this scandal alive and dangerous for Mills. The FDLE investigation is the biggest variable. If investigators find probable cause under Florida's sexual extortion or revenge porn laws, criminal charges could follow, and that would almost certainly end Mills's congressional career. Even if criminal charges never materialize, the House Ethics Committee could still take action. Stripped committee assignments, donor flight, and mounting pressure from GOP leadership to step aside are all possible outcomes. If Mills is cleared, he might survive. But politically, he'd be limping into the next election with a battered reputation and a strong primary challenge likely from Sabatini or another opponent. The scandal's shadow would be impossible to ignore. For Lindsey Langston, regardless of legal outcomes, this fight positions her as a figure willing to challenge political power. That could boost her own visibility within Florida's GOP, or even beyond. Either way, the next few months will decide whether this is just another scandal in Washington or the end of a congressman's career. And there you have it, the shocking, tangled saga of Lindsey Langston versus Congressman Cory Mills. What started as a breakup has spiraled into a criminal investigation, a restraining order battle, and a political crisis that could reshape a congressional seat. We've seen the private accusations, the public fallout, the legal maneuvering, and the online firestorm. Now it's a waiting game. Will Florida prosecutors pull the trigger on charges? Will Congress discipline one of its own? Or will Mills find a way to spin this as a smear campaign and claw back his standing? Tell me what you think in the comments. Is Mills the victim of a political setup? Or is this the ugly truth of a man abusing power behind closed doors? If you were glued to this story, smash that like button, share it with everyone who loves a real political drama, and subscribe so you don't miss the next twist in this and other scandals shaking Washington to its core. Because if there's one thing I can promise you, this is far from over.